Hey guys, something new, and it is special arrows. Now they are going to use only one bow, and you can use any bow to activate them. So yeah, now the effect is going to depend of the arrow you have on your inventory. So let's say that we have one teleportation arrow on our inventory. So if you use the bow, it's going to teleport us to wherever the arrow lands. Now we can also have poisonous arrows, so if we shoot this on the ground, it's going to do these particle effects, and if we go near to it, it's going to start giving ourselves poison effect. Now when this arrow disappears or it despawns, it's not going to do the effect anymore, so it's not going to give us poison, and it's not going to do the particle effects. Now you can have multiple of those, so you can spam it, and they're going to work everywhere you have the arrow, as you can see. But yeah, now the last arrow is an explosive arrow, and of course we need to have one of those. But yeah, you just have to shoot one, and it's going to explode. Now you can spam it as much as you want, and it's going to work every time, as you can see. So yeah, that's pretty nice. But yeah, now you can also have these anywhere on your inventory, and it's going to work just fine. But yeah, now let's go with the redstone. So here's the whole redstone, and it's only this fuel clock and these command blocks. And the nice part about this using on fuel clock is that it's going to trigger the command blocks in the same time, and because of that, it's going to trigger them on a certain order. Now this order is from the lowest X to the highest one, and when it finishes going to the highest X, it's going to go 1 over to the positive X, sorry, to the positive Z, and then repeat the positive X thing. So it's going to trigger from this to this, then from this to this one. So yeah, now the first command block that is going to be triggered is this fuel clock to do the fuel clock. But yeah, now the next objective is on placeholder 1, that is going to set all the arrows, sorry, it's going to add all the arrows on this placeholder objective 1 point. So we can know if the arrow just spawned by telling if it has only 1 point, because the next time the clock cycles is going to have 2 points, so we don't need to trigger some of the command blocks again. Now the next thing that is going to happen is going to set ourselves into this arrow objective into a certain amount of points depending of the effect we have. So first of all we need to reset it, so it's going to set ourselves to 0. Then depending of the arrow you're holding on your inventory, is going to set ourselves to a certain amount of points. So depending of the name of the arrow is going to set different amount of points. Now you can combine these using add a certain amount of points instead of set, and if it adds to a certain amount of points, it does the two effects instead of one. But I didn't bother to do this on this video. But if you want to do that, you can do it. But yeah, now the next thing that is going to happen is after we set ourselves to a certain amount of points to know what effect to do, we're going to run an execute command on every player with a specific amount of points, and it's going to execute another command on ourselves, and it's going to look for arrows in a radius of 2 and being the nearest one of us, and that has only 1 point on the placeholder objective. So if it has 2 points on the placeholder objective, it's not going to trigger again. Now this execute command is going to execute on scoreboard objective, sorry, objective. scoreboard command that is going to set the arrow to the same amount of points of the effect we had, the amount of points on this objective we had. So depending of the amount of points, is going to set to the same amount to the arrow. Now, the next thing that is going to happen is when the arrow is on the ground, so in the ground, it's going to add 100 points on the arrow objective, and it's only going to do this once, because after it adds 100 points, it's not going to be able to do this again, because it's going to be higher than 99. So yeah, it's only going to trigger this once, and after that we can know that it was triggered, so we can know that the arrow is in the ground by having 100 points plus the amount of points we set over here. Now this is only going to do the specific commands. So for instance, if we have a teleportation arrow, it's going to teleport us to the arrow, do some effects, particles, and some creeper to explode it. But the next thing that is going to happen is going to kill all the arrows if we kill some of the arrows. So if we don't want the arrows to be triggering this a certain command. So if you don't want the arrow, for instance, to be teleporting us to it every time, we can just kill it so it doesn't do this again. So it's going to kill some arrows. Not every one of those though, because some of those we want to be there. But yeah, the last command block is again a few clones, so it does the filling stuff. So yeah, I think that's basically it. So let me show it's working. So right now we don't have anything on our inventory, but when you have an arrow, it's going to add 1 point on this objective, as you can see, like that. So let's say that we have these 2 points on the objective. Because of that, if we shoot an arrow, it's going to set the arrow to 2 points. So you can see that it set the arrow to 2 points. But when it hits the ground, it's going to add 100 points more, so it's going to go to 102. Now, because it has 102 points, it's going to start doing this effect thing, and yeah, that's basically it. So also you can have more information, you can give more information to the arrow. So for instance, you can have an objective to know an objective with 1 point on a specific amount of points to every player, so we can know which player shot the arrow. So for instance, if you want to use specific teleportation, you can have this more information from who shot the arrow. But yeah, I think that's basically it. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. If you have any ideas, you can say in the comments as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.